Hey everyone, it's SG Holyman. Welcome back to the Holyman and Barz Gaming Hour, where me and my friend Barzad are gonna talk about games for an hour and everything that's going on. So, how have you been, Barz?
Not too bad, man. Working a lot, way a lot, more than I'd like to, anyways.
Yeah, uh, it's part of the reason we haven't been on in a couple weeks is work and just scheduling stuff. But we are back for episode 3, and later on in the show we're gonna talk about our Days Gone impressions. But for right now, let's get right into the news for the week. So, starting off, we have the walkouts at Riot. Earlier this week, there was a scheduled walkout for Riot employees for everything that was going on at the company. I know that just throughout last year, it seemed like, maybe even the last couple years, there was just reports of just toxic work behavior going on, and it was just not a great place to work in general. But um, as I said, it all led up to this walkout. It was about 100, maybe I think it was like 100 or 200 employees. The only thing that was weird is that it was a scheduled walkout from like 2 to 4 that was approved by the company. So, I mean, it was a walkout, but it was like a scheduled walkout, like basically an extended lunch break. It's just kind of a weird situation, but it still does send a signal that, you know, they want things to get better. And then it brings up the whole unionizing thing, which is a whole topic in itself. What do you think about the whole thing, Bars?
I mean, it's not even a pay thing, isn't it? It's just like long hours, constantly, all the time. Isn't that what the biggest complaint is?
Um, I know right now it's crunch, which has been a huge deal throughout all of the gaming industry. But last year there were reports of like basically toxic masculinity going on, and like uh, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but like basically the employees were getting like shamed for some reason, and it just wasn't a good place to work at all. And I know they've been trying to fix it, but now I think it is crunch basically.
You know what they usually get paid, or what the average is for them getting paid?
Uh, it, it varies from studio to studio and what you do. I couldn't tell you.
As high
Like,
as maybe like three figures?
um,
I'm not
I
gonna
would,
lie, if we're getting three figures over here, I mean, I really wouldn't complain too much. Yeah, it sucks to work that long, but three figures, you can definitely buy some stuff and show that crunch time off.
yeah. No, no, I'm just trying to think. I think Riot, I would imagine they get paid 3 figures. I don't know, but you're right. And like I said, it is a little weird that um, that it was like a scheduled walkout. It wasn't even a true walkout. It's just like there's no teeth in that then. You're not actually sending a message. It's just an extended lunch break at that point. Because there's
Right.
only,
There's no harm in it whatsoever.
yeah. Um, but, and then as I said, that brings up the whole unionizing thing, which I do think there should be some form of a union because of the turnover in the gaming industry, because there are a lot of layoffs. I don't know what form of a union it should take because I know, uh, like I know it's when you think union, it's like kind of a bureaucracy, but it can be different. It doesn't have to be like that. But I would like to see it, but I can understand why some people don't want to unionize. So, because if I remember right, with the whole voice actors strike too, like as soon as you bring in one voice actor that's in the voice actors union, you have to use all of them, and companies don't want to do that sometimes. So I don't know. It's a whole ball of
Debacle.
wax. Yeah, but it does raise interesting uh, questions for the future, and hopefully everything at Riot uh, calms down a bit. But uh, speaking of hot topics for the week, the original Claptrap voice actor is not returning for Borderlands 3, and he had some fiery accusations against Randy Pitchford, basically calling him out, saying that he uh, basically physically assaulted him in um, a hotel lobby, and there's just a lot of other stuff going on with Randy. It's been proven that he is a liar, and it's just also kind of a shame about Borderlands 3 because like the game itself looks awesome, but like there's just a lot of controversy surrounding the game, like this and just a whole bunch of other stuff too. And it mainly does revolve around Randy, because like at the whole time he's been CEO, there's just been nothing but complaints against him.
And it seems like what he was a part of the aliens colonial thing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he basically lied. I'm trying to remember the correct story. He like lied about features that were going to be in it and the quality. He still, to this day, says that Aliens Colonial Marines is a good game when no, it is not. But
How? That game is a giant piece of garbage.
well, I mean, the one point I will give him is that all CEOs do this. Like, if you talk to, fuck, what was his name for Bethesda? It's like Howard. I can't remember, but anyway, he'll tell you that he thinks Fallout 76 is a good game. So, like, they don't want to talk bad about their games, but he has to know. Uh, but um, as I said, when you really think about it, like Randy Pitchford is basically a liability at this point because he just will not stop talking. He is always in a bunch of controversy, and like I think they should really look into doing something about it.
Yeah, he's causing the controversy around Borderlands 3. Because
Yeah.
without him, we hear nothing but good things about that game. There's just constant positivity. Gameplay's been shown and whatnot. It looks really good. But
hmm
we're getting this overshadowing of this guy complaining, and then he's throwing off these paragraph essays on Twitter about things, and then how he exploded over the whole microtransactions, which there are microtransactions in the game, and he said just explicitly that there wasn't going to be.
Yeah, and then he like immediately backtracked and was just like, "Well, it's only cosmetics, and like it's not going to be anything to like pay to win." And it's just like, "Well, no, it's still microtransactions."
Exactly.
So I don't know, man. Gonna be honest, I've never really liked him, but Gearbox does make money. I mean, Take Two. Yeah, he'd be Take Two, right?
I really wonder how much of his his contributions really matter when it comes to Borderlands 3.
He would only handle the business side of things. He would.
Yeah, exactly. He really doesn't do anything towards the game itself other than promote it.
Yeah. And then I forgot about this one until I was thinking about it. The accusation that he basically siphoned off $12 million that were supposed to go to the developers that just went to him. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
an
I remember reading that.
like that's an accusation. It's just like, oh well. Hmm. Hopefully, hopefully he gets what's coming to him soon, because uh, him and oh fuck, who's leading? I don't remember who's leading Activision, but both of them is just like, man, come on now. But speaking of companies that we don't like, EA had a earnings call, and I found most of the articles on GameSpot. You can go over there and read them, but I'm just gonna go quickly through each one. There was one more that I read before we got on that I forgot to put. Uh, but the first one is EA Access is finally coming to PS4. I'm not getting it, but it's cool that it's happening. If you don't know, EA Access is basically you can play. Uh, it's kind of like Steam, but for all the EA games, you can play them like 2 weeks early, and like you get stuff for it. I don't want it, but it's cool that it's coming.
My issue with that is that so far as we've seen these early releases, like a week or 2 weeks early releases, it's just shrouded with errors and glitches and bugs and whatnot. And then they finally released that day one patch for the actually official release date to fix the issue. But for 2 weeks straight for those early accesses, you're just playing a buggy, glitched beta, basically.
Yeah, that's um, that's why I really don't. I'm with you. I don't like getting the early access stuff unless it's like the 3 day early access doesn't bother me because that's usually planned and they'll have the day one patch ready for that. But like the 2 weeks, it's like no, I don't want to play the broken unreleased version. I'll just wait. But for anybody who's interested, there you go. EA Access. I forgot to see when it was coming, but I think it's fairly soon. But anyway, the CEO. Oh fuck! I forget which one it is. Is it Rosh Nelznik? I forget. Anyway, he talked about Battlefront 2 and how he thought it was a great game that was just shrouded in controversy. And I mean,
Shrouded in controversy.
I mean, it was a pay-to-win multiplayer game that was buggy as all hell. And
That's
honest,
exactly what it was. There's no controversy. That's exactly what it was.
yep, I played it for one night. I only did story mode. I got through the first 2 or 3 chapters, and I was bored. I didn't even touch multiplayer because I heard everything that was going on. And so, you are right. It was just a controversy. Like nothing good came out of that. Um,
Even the campaign was pretty bland and basic, wasn't
yeah. I mean, I was interested in the first chapter. It had a good setup, but then after that, it just kind of got mediocre. From what I understand, they like cut a lot of the story content and just it got out a lot of context and it was just bland. So I don't know. It's kind of weird to think too because I I played more of the first one and I was like, wow, they can actually, the first one had problems, but I was like, they can fix a lot of things and it would actually be a good game. And then 2 came around and it got worse. It was like, huh, yeah, how do you fuck up Star Wars, man? I don't
it?
know.
Just leave it to EA to do anything, really.
I know, right? And then speaking of EA Star Wars games, sorry, Barz, I found this one at the last minute. They were also talking about the new one, Jedi Fallen
Jedi
Order.
Order or something? Oh,
Yeah.
Fallen Order, okay.
Um, basically, they're expecting it to sell around 8 million units, which before Battlefront 2, I would have said they probably could hit that pretty easy. Now I'm not so sure, but I'm cautiously optimistic for it because it's Respawn and it's single player, which I know a lot of people have been wanting. So I think at this point I'm just waiting on gameplay and to see what else comes up about it. Um,
One thing I've heard of it so far is just the title. I haven't even seen gameplay or a trailer for it. I've just seen an announcement.
they did put out a trailer for it. It was basically just a cinematic, but it looked cool. If if I'm getting my story right, you basically play as a Jedi who narrowly avoided oh fuck order oh fuck it was in the third movie, Order 76, order execute order
Order
something,
66?
Order 66, yes, where it was like everybody turn on the Jedi and kill him. You basically play as one that narrowly escaped, and so you gotta like go into
Okay.
hiding. Yep. And it's Respawn who made Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends. That's also partially why I'm excited.
We'll see how it
Good.
goes.
Yep. And
Just
then,
because we know who the big ones are that are running the show.
hmm and then the last big one I could find out of the EA earnings call was uh, Anthem sold below expectations, but they're still going to support the game, which is weird because last week the NPD numbers came out and Anthem was like the third best selling game of the year, and it's sold below expectations. Oh, man. I mean,
Greed is what we're looking at?
yeah, greed. I mean, at least they're gonna support it, right? For the 8 people still playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't... It's not really standing a chance when it comes to longevity. It could do a turnaround, just kind of like how Rainbow Six did. It was dog shit poor performance, just like how Anthem is right now. But I think after, what, 8 months, 6 months, it kind of spun around and it's been doing better ever since. Actually, I think it's still growing.
Rainbow Six, yeah, it's still
Mm-hmm.
growing. Um, yeah. Thing about Rainbows, well, I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, they did improve Rainbow Six a lot, but like my thing with Anthem though is that there's just, I think there's just fundamental problems with the game. Like you'd basically have to make a new game to turn it around. And also they don't even stick to their own update schedule with Anthem either. They keep changing it. So,
Yeah, the roadmap, I think everything on that list is pushed back now.
yeah. So, we'll see. I mean,
What was the budget for that game?
a lot. It was over 100
When it,
million.
I thought it was, yeah, somewhere around like 2 to 400 million or something like that. It was
Something like
insane.
that. Yeah.
And just to throw 400, let's just say up to $400 million down on the table and walk away from it. Oh my God. I'd lose
Yeah.
my goddamn marbles right there. I'd be like, whoever I hired to make this game for $400 million budget and gave me that kind of product. Oh my God.
Yeah. And then also they're all working on the new Dragon Age too. So you're getting like a split studio right there. So I don't know.
Which I hope
It'll,
I hope Dragon Age is good. I like those. I'm a big fan of those games.
yeah. I put 80 hours into Inquisition. I didn't finish it, but I really liked it. So
I think I finished it on one character and created two more characters, so I had like three altogether. I'm sure I did way more than 80.
yeah, I don't know. And then, quick question: do you think the new Dragon Age is this gen or next gen?
Um, I don't know. Just it's kind of hard to say. The reason why I say that is because I mean we'll get to it later, but the state of play was
Mm-hmm.
today, and even after the state of play, they threw the little advertisement in on purchasing a like a special edition PS4.
Yep.
And it's like I don't understand why you would release special editions and charge almost full price for a brand new one when you just release some specs about the PS5. I mean, I know we don't have a confirmation date on when the PS5 is coming, but I feel like if if we're already getting spec details, then surely an announcement's maybe this year, or
Yeah.
maybe a reveal this year.
Yeah, my gut is telling me that at some point at the end of this year, we're gonna get the PS5 announcement, and then next year in the fall is when we're actually gonna get the PS5. So it would be like November 2020 for PS5 is my prediction.
In your opinion, do you think it's time?
Yeah, I think it's time. Because at that point, uh, it would be 7 years for the PS4. So I
10, huh?
think it, yeah, seven.
Time
Released.
flies. Jeez.
Yeah, I was gonna say PS4 released November something 2013. So like technology is just starting to go forward. I don't believe for a second that the 8K thing is real for PS5, but in any case, it will be 4K at least.
I really hope not. Yeah, I was gonna say just stick with 4K right now.
Yeah. Although I do think it's a little weird that like uh, we didn't even master 1080p at 60 frames a second, and we're already jumping to 4K. It's just like, come on now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 4K is already kind of like a hit or miss thing. Like there's only certain TVs that really do well with it, and then even the PS4. I mean, it's not even true 4K, isn't it? Right?
No, it's checkerboarding 4K.
Yeah. So it's like, why the hell would we move on to 8 if we can't even master 4?
Yeah. Uh, Damn it. I was trying to think of a clever transition. But next up is the state of play. Uh, 2215. Uh, but that was today, and right off the bat, I will say I like this one more than the first one. Um, it was shorter. It was only like 10 minutes, which they did say it would only be about 10 minutes. But
I was gonna say, I still felt like this was really, really, really short.
yeah, I I do feel like they need to spread it out more. But what they showed was pretty good. So they started off with the Monster Hunter World trailer for Iceborne, and
Oh yes.
that looked really good. It was like, man, I want to get back into Monster Hunter World now. This looks so good.
You need to finish it before that expansion comes out.
I know I'm really close too. Damn it. Um,
You got to what, September 6th, 10th, something like that?
I believe it's the 6th.
Yeah, you got plenty of time, but
It's
I would
just,
definitely get it done.
yeah, it's just doing it. Although after Rage 2 comes out next week, yeah, Tuesday, I'm gonna have basically a huge lull, so I'll probably have time to actually get back and do it too. Um, but anyway, after that was a small game that I actually don't remember. It looked kind of interesting though. I'll have to go back and look. But I believe after that was the Predator game, which that's actually pretty cool. It's made by the guys who did Friday the 13th, and it's a PS4 exclusive. And it's basically kind of be Friday the 13th, except you get to be Predator, which to me, I find that way more interesting than being Jason.
I think
Because,
they'll be able to do a lot more cooler stuff.
yeah, because, I mean, let's be honest, Predator's really cool.
Yeah. I'll have to see gameplay though before I can, you know, go with it. Because they said it was what was it, an
Asymmetrical.
asymmetry type game? Asymmetrical type game.
Yeah. So,
And so if it's like Friday the 13th, well, I mean, hopefully it releases better and the mechanics are better.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a way bigger budget because they are working directly with Fox and they're also working with Sony. So they should have a pretty good budget. So, I'm trying to remember what was after the Predator. It was Medieval. I think it was Medieval. I'm actually pretty
Dungeon game or
excited.
something.
No, it was Medieval's the Sir Daniel Fortescue one
Oh
where,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, if you don't know, because I assume that there's going to be a lot of younger folk who don't know about PS1 games. It's a remake of a classic PS1 game. I know my dad had it. It's where I knew about it from. But it looks pretty good. Um, Hopefully they price it right. I'd imagine it's only going to be like 20 bucks, 30 at the most. But I did not get a chance to play it on the PS1, but like I said, it looks good. I want to play it. So, I don't know about you, but
yeah. I probably not.
okay, fair enough. Um, I believe the release date was like October 6th, which, I mean, perfect time to release a spooky game. I mean, it's not really spooky, but it fits the theme. Um, Fuck, what was after Medieval? Uh, I know I'm forgetting something, but I'm gonna jump right to the big one, which was Final Fantasy VII. Kind of forgot that game existed, but hey, we got the trailer for a remake, um, and it looked good.
Yeah, but with that trailer though, I mean, did you see any sort of release date or even a window or even like a year from like 3 years from now? Nothing. At least on the one game, I forgot which one it was on the state of play, but it said 2020. No, it was the Predator one. The Predator one said it was going to release in 2020.
Yep.
And then,
Um,
so even for this, we still don't even have a date, so I'm not even remotely going to get my hopes up or even care that I even seen that trailer.
so they did say more is coming in June, and then
Oh,
which is E3 time, but um, I'm trying to remember the exact wording, but basically the wording from Nomura's was kind of hinting at a launch window. Like they were going to release, like they were finally going to give a time for when the game might maybe launch in 2027. So, I don't know. It's just something to look forward to. But what they did show, like I said, it did look pretty good. I don't know if you noticed, but Tifa was actually in the party. They just did a lot of clever editing to not show her, which is weird, but alright. Um,
I don't really have much to say when it comes to that game, just because
you're just waiting.
until something is cemented, I'm not even going to give that game any of my attention.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Been drug on for way too long now.
Yeah. It's been, what, 4 years since that game was announced? Like, damn. And then there was one more game I wanted to talk about from State of Play. Oh, Away. That was the game where you play as a badger and you gotta survive in the wild. I want to play it. That's all I gotta say. I just want to play it. It looks cute. You probably don't want to play it at all. You're probably just like, move on, Holyman.
You know me. I leave the small indie games and mostly like the linear single player games. I leave all those to you.
Yeah. But speaking of open world games, final topic for the news. The new Ghost Recon was announced today.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It's called, oh fuck, what was it? It was like
Breakpoint.
Breakpoint. And I watched the trailer, and I did not play Wildlands. I don't remember the exact reason. I just, if I remember right, my reasoning was I just didn't think it played that well, in my opinion. But I know a lot of people like it. It's sold like crazy, and they're putting out the new one. And I will say the story does look pretty interesting. Like basically, you're behind enemy lines, and you got to fight an ex Ghost Recon member or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So, like, it looked cool. It was all cinematic, but I mean, it's probably gonna play a lot like Wildlands. So
I
maybe I'll
feel like
give it a
it
shot.
will. I think the mechanics. I mean, I think they'll probably be a little bit more refined, more better tuned, but I still feel like it's gonna pretty much be the same thing and perform as the same way,
Yeah. Uh,
which is okay with
I'm.
me because I loved Wildlands. I put lots of time into that.
Yeah, I was kind of saying. I remember you and your brother putting a lot of time into it, and then I
Yeah.
was just sitting on the outside, like, well, have fun. I'll go play something else. But as you said, if it's more refined and like they put out a demo, I might actually pick it up this time around. And I believe they even had a release date too. It was in October or something. I don't remember.
Which is a lot sooner than I thought. But then again, how long has it been since Wildlands came out? 2 years?
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's been 2 years. It
Yeah,
was either
it's probably
2017.
something like that. So it's been enough time.
Yeah. Um. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll just wait for gameplay, which they might have that at E3 actually. I forgot to mention, but E3 is coming up June 10th, I believe, is the
They
Monday
have
press.
gameplay right now. I've seen there's 2 channels that I watch that actually have some gameplay of it.
Oh,
It's like 15 minutes.
oh shit. I'll have to go check
I'll
that
send it
out.
to you after we're done, and that way you can watch it and see for yourself.
Okay, okay. Um, yeah, I'll have to go watch that. But I think with that, that is all for the news. Now we'll get on to topic of the show, which is our Days Gone impressions. So this was a game that me and you were really looking forward to. Um, I'd say I've put about 22-ish hours into it. You beat the game last night. Um,
Yeah, literally just last night.
uh, from what I've gathered, I'm about 40% of the way through. I don't think we're going to do story spoilers here, but uh, my initial feelings on the game is the more I've played it, the more I like it. Um, and I do think it's a good game. I don't think it's a great game. Like I'm not in love with it, but I like it a lot, and I am having fun with the game. So I don't know about you. I think you really like it, right?
I really like it. Like I'm probably in the same boat as you. Like I don't love it, but I do like it. Just because I would, in my opinion, the story it's there. It's not great, but it's not bad. I think the
Yeah,
biggest conflicting thing for me is how the main character Deacon St. John is. His personality is like a switch, man. I mean, it flips. He's a super nice guy at one point, and then pop next scene, or even maybe the next sentence, it's aggressive, and it's like I feel like Deacon himself is trying to figure out what kind of character he is throughout most of the game.
yeah. It's very inconsistent writing. Um, And I agree with you. The story is there. There are points where I'm like, oh wow, this is actually pretty interesting. I'm actually getting kind of invested here. And then it just gets like a lull where it's like, oh well, this is boring. Um,
Yeah.
I will say the relationship between Deacon and his wife is really good. I enjoy that. And the voice acting overall, I feel like is actually really good. Given what they have to work with. Like I feel like the voice actors are really good.
Yeah,
And
I really
then
like it.
oh god, excuse me. Oh shit. But and then the world itself. Um, I feel like I'm not compelled to go off the beaten path and explore, but when I do, I know a lot of reviews were just like, it's there's basically no reason, like it's the world's not compelling. But every time I do, I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting over here, and oh, I'm actually finding something cool. So it's kind of like a mix between both. I feel like,
That's not bad.
yeah.
I'm the kind of guy who, whenever I'm playing during the game, I like to do the side stuff because I want to unlock like different weapons or different different parts for the motorcycle. I'm into the customization thing.
Hmm.
So if I know I have the ability to just do some side stuff and unlock those things, I'll more than likely do those first before I even finish the main story or do the next main story mission.
Yeah.
And if you're doing those, then you'll explore a lot of the map and you'll find a lot of interesting landmarks. Because especially with like coal mines, I'm not trying to spoil too much, but in the main story, I think you only go inside one, and I've been in through like five or six. So it's
Yeah.
good to explore because you will find stuff, and there's usually a lot of supplies, and there's a lot of good gear inside those mines too.
Yeah.
Also, that's
Um,
where the biggest scare factors are as well. It is dark and you have no idea what's coming around the corner. It could be at least a 200, freaker horde in there.
yeah. Um, I was just about to say the one thing I really do like about the world is it does the same thing that Dying Light did, where I don't want to mess around at night. Like as soon as I see the clock at 5, I'm like, okay, next camp. You gotta just hunker in. Let's just pass the day. Just get to the next day. I don't even want to be
And
out at night.
sleep, right?
Yeah. Mm-mm. Because they the hordes are crazy. Like it's it is probably some of the it is a lot of fun to take on a horde, even though I've only done the
Oh,
smaller ones.
amazing.
Um,
Once you get to the end game ones, you'll see how much fun they are.
yeah. Um, and then, like you said, like even going through the abandoned tunnels to get from one area of the map to the other, I'm just like, nah, I hate this. I hate it.
Oh yeah, little highway tunnels.
Mm-hmm. Because it's just like I don't want to stop, and then it's like, oh, there's a car blocking the path, so you got to get out and push the car off, and it's like, oh crap, don't make a noise, just go, just want to get out of here. But like I said, I really do enjoy that. One thing I'm a little iffy on is the actual gunplay itself. It does the Last of Us thing where it's like the circle reticule thing, but Last of Us did it better. Like it actually made sense in that game. In this game, I'm just like, why are you doing this? Just use a normal uh, aim thing so I can, aim properly.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the most basic of basic shooting mechanics that you can possibly get in any kind of a shooter game.
yeah, and even with the circle, it's not that accurate either. Um,
I
like
will
I,
say that it does get better when you upgrade the skill tree for the weaponry. It does get a little bit better, and then there are weapons that even affect that circle too. So like in the end game, you'll find a lot of weapons that actually make that circle extremely tiny, which means they're more accurate.
yeah,
So that
uh,
kind of, in a way, it kind of runs with how the story kind of is, or when you first start, you got the basic of basic. The pistol's not that great. The shotgun is a pump action. It's like a two shell loader too, so you shoot two shells and you got to reload, and that's a terrible situation to be in, especially with like a horde game.
hmm,
But then like towards the middle-ish to end, you're starting to pick up light machine guns and pistols that's got like 16 to 18 in the mag, and then that circle gets a lot smaller, so it's more fitting to take on those massive hordes. Because believe
yeah,
like if the gameplay with the guns, like the gun mechanics stayed the same at the beginning as it does in the end, I would put the game down. There's no
yeah,
way you can take on a horde of 200 with a pistol that the firing rate is, shoot a round, count to 3, and then you're able to shoot the next round.
Yeah.
The firing rate on that pistol that you get in the very beginning is so bad, so terrible.
Yeah. That's why I said I'm kind of like, I'm lukewarm on it because it is starting to get a little better. But then I'm just like, man, I don't know. There's just better shooters that you can play.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then the stealth itself is basic, but it works. Like, I like it enough. The rock is OP.
It really is. It really is.
And it also helps that the AI is dumb as shit.
You could sit in a bush and throw a rock and hit someone in the face with it 2 feet away, and
And
they're
they're
just
just
like,
like,
"What?
what?
What was that?"
Oh, must have been the wind. It's like, oh, we're
What
Skyrim
was that?
guards. It's like, dude, I just shot you with an arrow. And you're just like, yeah, it must have been the wind. It's like,
Or
alright,
how you
bro.
can actually trigger which soldier to make follow the rock. Like, have you ever aimed the rock and then realized
Mm-hmm.
that you can actually dictate which one follows the sound?
Yep. It's like,
It's so
nah.
bad.
It's like,
It's
oh,
terrible.
both of these guys don't hear the rock. It's just this one can hear the rock.
Yeah. Even though they're
Uh,
3 feet away from each other.
mm-hmm. Just like, oh, man. Alright. It's fine. Um, I'm trying to think of what else I want to talk about. I like riding the motorcycle. Like, even like the start of the game base motorcycles pretty good to it feels good to ride around on, but as you upgrade it obviously gets a lot better, and I think they just nailed riding the actual bike, and I love customizing it too. Like, you can get your bike looking really nice.
I do like that. Yeah, the bike is really customizable. You can customize that chopper into, I mean, you can turn it into something else. You can turn it into almost like a dirt bike style. You can change the frame and everything and make it look not even like a motorcycle, but a dirt bike. Um, what I don't like is the fact that you can't change Deacon's clothes. He
Yeah, that
wears the same outfit the entire, well, I mean, he changes it, I think, twice. But you have to progress through the story to get it to change.
yeah, that is a little bit of a bummer, but
I think they
uh,
wanted to hit home on the factor that you play as a biker, so you're supposed to dress like a biker. But I
yeah,
mean,
you can still
there's
do stuff
tons
with
of
that.
biker attire out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, a long sleeve with his cut on at all times. Like,
Yeah.
you can change it a little bit.
Yeah. um Yeah, I agree with you on that. Like, it would be kind of cool to just change it up a little bit, like, and like have it be as deep as it is with the bike. And I'm trying to think.
The
Um,
bike handles pretty well. Like, it drives really good.
hmm um, I also like how it's not like your horse in Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, you can actually take risks on your bike, and it's not just gonna explode and like you lose it
Oh,
forever.
right.
So that's pretty nice. Um, I think the last thing I wanted to talk about was the whole storylines thing. Like, I think I told you this last night, but I just wish there was an overall percentage. Like, you can see like how far you are in the story and like overall completion. Like, it does like a storyline thing where as you complete missions, it like percentages go up on all the different storylines, and it's just like, I get what you're doing, but it gets kind of ridiculous, and it's just like, can we can we just have a basic one, please? Like, you're getting convoluted.
That sort of thing doesn't really bother me too much. I mean, it does get a little overwhelming because you've got like 9 to 12 different storylines going all at the same time. So whenever you complete one, you don't necessarily know which one you're completing
Yeah,
until you've actually finished that mission, and then it shows you which one it is. And it's just like, oh, okay, I was doing that part of the story. Okay, I didn't know that.
yeah, and it's like you got the main one, and then like at the bottom you see like 3 or 4 different ones go up. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah,
Cool.
it's like, okay, well, don't know which one I did really, but I guess it's one of those five.
Yep, and then it's like, oh, you've unlocked a crafting item. And it's like, oh, well, okay, cool. But, um, I think we've pretty much covered everything, right? Like, overall, like I said, I really like the game. Um, I think the game is going to sell well enough that they might get a shot at a sequel because this is Studio Ben's first open world game. Before this, they made Siphon Filter, and then they did the Vita Uncharted game, and then they had three other games in development since then because the Golden Abyss, right? Yeah, Golden Abyss came out on Vita in 2012. And they had three different projects. Each one got canceled, so they made this game. And for, like I said, for the first outing on console in a long time, and their first crack at open world, it's pretty good. Um, so I just hope they get a shot at it, and I think it's going to sell well enough that it's going to get a sequel because a lot like us, like it's getting a lot of crowd support. Like everyone's saying, "Oh, this is actually a lot better than what the reviewers are saying." So I just I'd like to see a sequel.
I would too, because I mean, it's got a really good foundation. The two biggest things they really need to change is just the fact that the shooting mechanics, the gunplay,
Hmm.
just put more effort into that, not make it so basic, and then just kind of make Deacon just a more firm character instead of just all over the place. And
Yeah,
other than that, I mean, it'll be a good game. The map is huge.
yeah,
The gun selection's huge. Customization for the bike is huge. The story's really good.
yeah. So stretch. I yeah, I agree with you. And I think with that we'll get on to new releases. Um, I usually don't start with today's releases, but I'm going to. For technically, when you're hearing this, it'll be the 10th, but I'm going to start for Thursday. So, releasing today is For the King on Switch, which comes out today. I don't know what that is. Life is Strange 2, Episode 3 came out today. I still haven't played Episode 2, but I really liked Episode 1, so I really need to get back to that. Um, Also, being that it is Goku Day today, GT Goku came out for Dragon Ball Fighters. Played a little bit of him. Seems pretty good. I have to put more time into him. Uh, Coming out tomorrow for PS4. I'm actually really excited about this, Barz. It's Just Shapes and Beats. Have you seen this game?
I don't think so.
Okay. It came out for the Switch. It's basically a rhythm game, and it has elements of a. Is it a shmup? You don't actually shoot anything, but basically there's a lot of stuff going on screen, and you just got to avoid it. But it's all set to like techno music. It it looks pretty good, and I'm really excited. I'm always excited for rhythm games. Uh, Hopefully it's priced right. I think it's going to be about 20 bucks. But yeah, Bars, I think you should look into it. It looks really good.
I think I remember
Um,
you mentioning it last month or a month before.
yeah. Uh, Coming out Tuesday, we have Sniper Elite V2 Remastered. I've never played any of the Sniper Elites, but this one is the one in Belgium, I believe. I think
Germany?
you've. Yeah, Germany.
Yeah, I think I've played all of them except for the very last one.
Yeah.
Just because they started really good, but then now they're just kind of getting to be more arcade than actual taking skill and actually using the sniper rifles and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because now I think in the new games, I think on just the normal difficulty, you can get like a marker that tells you where the bullet's gonna land, and it's like, well, where's the skill in that? I mean, this is supposed to be like a sniping game. It's supposed to put it on like the more realistic end of sniping, and it literally tells you where the bullet is gonna be, and that's just no fun to me. I can't stand that kind of stuff.
I I actually didn't know that. Um,
This one
but
that's being remastered, this was the one that took probably the most skill out of all the games to play.
oh, well, it's only $30. Well, you can pre-order for 30. I think it goes up to 35 afterwards, but I have to look into that. Probably. Well, no, I already got enough to play. I'll put it on the back burner. Um, Also coming out on the 14th is Rage 2. I'm really looking forward to Rage 2. I was excited when I heard that it was the team that made Mad Max, and they get to use the engine that made Doom 2016. Like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, I'm in. Like, I seen one gameplay trailer and I was like, okay, cool. I'm in. I'll buy it. I believe you said that you were gonna wait.
I'm still 50-50 right now. I want to, but then at the same time I kind of don't want to. Just because it's just a single player game too, right?
Right. It is open world,
So,
but it is single player.
you know what they say, every game is more fun with friends.
Right. That is true.
I was really hoping that would be one of them because I think that game would be just chaotically fun with two people.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they'll add it in the future. Maybe. Um, but anyway, A Plague Tale Innocence also comes out on Tuesday. Um, this is a single player game where you play as like a child during the bubonic plague and you basically have to survive it. It looked interesting. My friend showed me. It's like $50 though, so I'm gonna wait till that goes on sale. Um, Citrus Alpha comes out on Switch on the 14th. I don't know what that is. Um, fuck. Bubsy Paws of Fire comes out on the 16th. Fucking Bubsy, you piece of shit. God,
Don't even know what it is.
good. You don't want to know. The one character that nobody wanted to come back, man. Anyway, speaking of a better game, the Castlevania Anniversary Collection also comes out on the 16th. I might get that. This one includes Castlevanias 1, 2, 3, um, 1, 2, 3, some of the Game Boy ones, like a lot of the old ones. So, the only
Hmm.
ones The only ones it doesn't have is Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night, and that's because those two came in their own collection. But I believe if you get this one and then that collection, it's going to have everything. You'll like basically have all the old Castlevanias. So, pretty neat.
It's good news.
Konami's actually doing something. And with that, I think we are going to end on what we are doing for the week. So, Bars, what are you playing?
Just got uh, Sekiro, so I'll probably be spending a lot of my time with it. I just finished Days Gone. I'll probably catch myself coming back to it a little bit here and there, but for the most part, I might just be done with it.
Hmm.
Division 2 seems like another one I keep going back to the most, and I'm thinking possibly getting back into some Destiny because I know that the new season is going to be right around the corner, and I think the new DLC is coming out next month as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Uh, as far as as far as what I'm going to be doing, going to be learning more GT Goku and Dragon Ball Fighters. Gonna be getting through some more Sekiro on Twitch. I've decided to, well, okay, maybe not next week. I'm probably gonna do ranked all next week for fighters, but I do want to get back to Sekiro. Um, and Days Gone. I think those are probably gonna be my three big ones that I'm gonna be playing. Uh, and then I may or may not go back to the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy to get that platinum. And then I bought the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. I watched it once. I might watch it again because that movie's really good. And then I thought we would get an announcement today for Super coming back, but I don't think that happened. Maybe it happened in the last hour. I don't know. Um, but I think with that, that is this episode. This is a lengthy episode. We're at 55 minutes.
Damn.
So if you liked what you've listened to, you can go ahead and subscribe to this little YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter at SGHolyman. I'm on Twitch as SGHolyman. I'm basically everywhere as SGHolyman. Barz, where can they follow you?
Nowhere. Thank God.
Alrighty. Also, if you have any questions for the show, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I will read them, and you can also send them to me on Twitter. But anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Appreciate you.